Yo, and how's it going, Apple Army? Welcome back to the Game Apple. So today we are updating my STAM SORC build for the Flames of Ambition patch for open world serial, meaning no PROC sets whatsoever. We've done this for the STAM DK now. This is the second build that I'm doing this patch, and like always, I upload videos showing off what this build's like in open world serial in 1vx, 1v1s, 1v2s, and etc. situations. So if you want to go see them, just go and check out my channel if you're new here. And yeah, you can go see all them videos. But without any further ado, let's get right into the video. I just want to quickly say, I didn't actually think I'd be making this video today. I always intended on doing it today, but if you didn't know, the PS servers actually went down for a full day, and it didn't look like they were going to come back up for another 2 days. So I'm just happy that they're back up and ZOS got that sorted with Sony. But yeah, let's get right into the video. Okay. So, first things first, we will go over the attribute points. 64 points into stamina. Now what I'm going to say is it doesn't matter whether you've got points into health, stamina or magic, as long as you hit 14k magic, 27k health and 30k stamina. You can even drop the stamina down to 28k if you do a different race or anything like that, but you're kind of looking for similar stats to me in that area, so just distribute these how you see fit. That goes for enchants as well. And then we go on to the food. I'll takeaway broth, but for this build you can actually run Dubious, Cameron Dubious, because we don't need the health recovery really this patch. Health recovery just isn't as important as it was before. We're not really diving into that as much. So yeah, you can switch this out for Dubious. The difference in health and stamina is I think 1 or 200, and the stam recovery is about 50 difference, so there really isn't much there. Then we move on to the Mundstone. We went for the stam recovery Mundstone just for a really nice base stam recovery. If you put weapon damage here and then put a stam recovery enchant on your jewelry, it would be the same amount of weapon damage but less recovery, so it's just more efficient to do it this way. Okay. Right, so for potions, we are running Tri-Stats and crit pots. So basically these crit pots just give you knockback immunity, major savagery and stamina. I really like these on STAM SORC. Honestly, I think crit is just always so nice because we have such good damage on our dizzy swings and dawnbreakers, so when they crit it's really nice, especially in this patch where crit resistance is lower. So yeah, this is really nice. I tried to keep these up, and I use tripods if, you know, I've got safe a lot of people on me, 10-15 people I need to escape. You know, crit isn't going to do me much good then. I kind of need the extra magic, so it can just depend on the situation, but mainly I run these pots. Okay, on the back bar we're running critical riposte. I haven't put any enchants or poisons on this. I haven't seen the point. You can put some damage enchants or chuck some poisons back bar. Probably having some poisons in best, in all honesty. But yeah, critical riposte is really good for that line of crit resistance. It just makes us a lot more bulkier. And then 2 1 pieces of defending, which is really nice. I'll just show you the stats now of our back bar and then our front bar. So our back bar stats, we are looking at 2.4k stam recovery, 5.4k weapon damage, 29% crit, 32 physical, 32 spell resistance, and 2.9k crit resistance. And then on the front bar we have got still 2400 stam recovery, 5.8k weapon damage, still 29% weapon critical, 4 nearly 5k pen, and 29k physical and spell resistance with 2.5k crit resistance. So overall we're looking really tanky on this build. Alright. Front bar, we are running Spriggans. We are running Spriggans as a two-handed sword in Nirn. Now you could run Sharpened here. Personally, I wanted to go full weapon damage, but yeah, you can go Sharpened here. I didn't really feel the need for penetration, seeing as we're in Spriggans. On the DK I did, because we're running more dots, so there's more pressure. But with our main abilities being Dizzy Swing, Dawnbreaker, Rally for the big heals, I really felt like this worked best for our heals and damage. But that's personal preference. You can definitely run Sharpened here. It's just whatever, you know, you see fit. So then we're running 2 1 pieces. One piece being weapon damage, and the other being Bloodborne. Sorry guys if I sound like I don't know what I'm talking about here. I've literally just woke up. I didn't realise the servers would be up today, so I've just giving myself a bit of time to wake up. But yeah, we're running 1 piece weapon damage and 1 piece stam recovery. We got 6 pieces in Tristat enchants, and then 1 piece is just stamina. Like I said, you can do whatever you want with these enchants, just as long as you make it so that you have very similar stats to me. That being in the 14k magic, 27k health, 30k stamina. Wouldn't go below 27k health, wouldn't go below 14k magic. You can dip down to 28k stamina if you want to, because obviously we have Dark Deal, so you can just give yourself back some stamina if you really want to. Right. For the enchants as well, like for the traits, we have got, I think it's 3 pieces in pen, 4 pieces in pen, 2 well fitted, and then 1 reinforced. The reinforced has to be on the chest, has to be. It's a heavy chest piece, fortified brass, and this just gives you so much resistance. It's the best piece to have reinforced by far. And yeah, we're running 5 piece fortified on the body, so that's 6 piece medium, 1 piece heavy, the chest piece being the heavy. Then Spriggan's jewelry, all gold, weapon damage infused. It honestly just the best in SORC right now. Really, really nice. It's basically the same build as my DK. My DK ran 2 stam recoveries for the monster pieces. In this one I'm running 1 weapon damage, 1 stam recovery. I ran fortified brass, and I run Spriggan's with a bow instead of dual wield on the back bar. So there's not really much sets to work with this patch. So for stamina, you're gonna notice that it's gonna be a lot of the same, and just a lot works for general stamina builds. But obviously the skills and stuff change and how you play the builds, which is what we'll go over as well. So on the back bar, we are running Ball of Lightning. This is so nice. Some people can switch this out and put Critical Surge on the back bar and it's on the front bar, so you have the extra 2% weapon damage by having the Ball of Lightning on the front bar, and that comes from the passive down here by having this skill active on that certain bar. Personally, I like this on my back bar because I have more resistances, I have more crit resistance, I'm just tankier on my back bar, and this is a defensive skill because it allows me to remove snares, and then it catches all projectiles thrown at me. Admittedly, it's a bit dodgy, some projectiles still come at me, so sometimes I still have to roll dodge to avoid a few projectiles, but for the majority of the time, it does do its job. So it is a defensive skill rather than an attacking skill. If I had this as the other morph for the stun, I would 100% run it on this bar, but because we got it in a defensive kind of place, we run it here. Then Dark Deal, obviously, this is just so nice. Health, stamina for magic, I mean, you can't go wrong with this. Hurricane, giving us 15% movement speed and 6k resistances. This got buffed this patch. More indirectly than anything, they buffed Minor Expedition up from 10% to 15%, but that did buff the skill. So now instead of 10% movement speed, we get 15% extra, which is really nice. Rendering Slashes. Now, you can switch this to Blood Craze if you're feeling like your healing is lacking. Honestly though, the healing isn't lacking on this build, so I kept Rendering Slashes. I did try Sword and Board back bar, I tried 2-hand back bar, I tried dual wield front bar, and what I found was, I'm going to show you the rotation right now, even though we're not running master dual wield on the back bar, right, I still found that Rendering Slashes is doing a lot of damage, and that's because of this front skill here, right, and I'll just quickly show you what this front skill does. So Crystal Weapon, basically Crystal Weapon increases our light attack damage. Well, we do 11,000 physical damage every time we do a light attack, and this is really nice because if I did an uppercut, light attack, and then activate this, so I'll just slow it down, uppercut, light attack, then activate this, you can then do a bar swap, so I'll speed this up. So it's a really fast animation cancel, so you can do that and then switch bar, and then medium weave into this and come straight back into this bar. So it just allows you, instead of just uppercutting, 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 or uppercutting light attack, uppercutting light attack, it gives you more burst because you can uppercut light attack, activate the skill switch bar, then maybe medium wave into a twin slashes, and that medium wave will then not only stun them but do a lot of damage. So when you switch to this bar, right, we've activated this, you get your damage from your medium wave, and then you get the damage from the crystal weapon, but then you do it into a rendering slashes, and then you get the damage from the rendering slashes at the same time. So you are doing a lot of damage in that one little burst, which is really nice. And then you just bar swap. So even though it's on the back bar and we don't have Spriggans active, it still does a lot of damage just because of how the combo works. Yeah. So that's why I've kept rendering slashes. It's got great pressure with my burst potential. And then obviously we have Vigor. Now Vigor, I mean, you're not going to be switching this out. Temporal Guard has been buggy this patch, so I don't recommend actually using this. I do use it sometimes if I really need to, but it's kind of a placeholder skill, which gives 5% damage reduction. You can switch this out for, I believe, this skill, which gives 15%. Is it STAM recovery? Oh, it's in the passives, isn't it? Yeah, while having it slotted, you get 20% extra STAM recovery. So, I mean, you can place this back bar for STAM recovery for the extra 20%, but the 5% damage reduction is just what I went with. Okay. So then, yeah, Critical Surge. Critical Surge is so nice. It's giving us such a strong heal every single second. And yeah, I'm losing my voice a little bit here, guys. One sec. Just need a drink. Oh, always got a dry throat in the morning. But yeah, it gives us such a nice heal. Pair that with Vigor and Rally, and our heals are really solid with 32k resistances back bar. For me, it's a must-have. It is honestly a must-have because we've got basically 30% critical chance as well. So you are activating it every second, and with Hurricane and multiple people on you, you chuck rendering slashes on them. You're doing light attacks. You're basically proccing that every single second when you're in combat, like when you're actively attacking, which is so nice. Then Executioner, this is nice, just, you know, it's an execute, not much more to be said about that. I have been preferring Spin to win, but overall, Executioner has taken the slot for me this patch. Then, yeah, we went over Rally. Rally we gave, pardon me, 15% extra STAM recovery, weapon damage, the Major Brutality, but we also get Major Brutality from this, so as long as one of these is up, but we keep this up for the STAM recovery and the heal, which is nice. And then Crystal Weapon, which we've already gone over. Dizzy Swing, it sets them off balance, it's, I mean, spammable, but we kind of weave it with Crystal Weapon and Rendering Slashes, so people that roll dodge all the time and go invisible, or you can't hit, they're streaking, whatever, we kind of use a lot more of Crystal Weapon into Rendering Slashes just to get your damage off. But when they're kind of in front of you and you're going to get your full burst out, we use a lot more Dizzy Swings. So we just have options. We have different burst options, which is really nice. And talking about different burst options, I chose Dawnbreaker instead of Onslaught. Now Onslaught is really nice, and when I was running Sword Singers last patch, it was definitely best in slot. But this patch, Dizzy Swing takes it for me because not only does it do very similar damage to the Onslaught, it also does a massive dot to everybody that you hit, applying a lot of pressure, and then it stuns them all. So Dawnbreaker is definitely best in slot, which is unfortunate because I really love how Onslaught works. Okay, now into the champion points. What I'll say about the champion points, guys, is follow me exactly in these two, and then do whatever the hell you want for the green tree. What I will do is just quickly note over what I've done for the green tree. So I put the stuff into full damage for the 35% reduction in full damage. That's so nice for 1vxing and kiting in general. For Cyrodiil, because we're always moving about and doing a lot of parkour. You don't think Cyrodiil's a parkour place, but when you're 1vxing and you don't want people to hit you, I'm parkouring my bloody ass off. Then we're adding 30 minutes to our food. That's just nice for the Artaeum takeaway broth because it's quite an expensive food. Then for the potions, you have 10% chance not to consume a potion. Obviously nice. 20% movement speed once out of combat. Obviously you don't notice that in combat, but it's just nice to have when you're moving around Cyrodiil. Then 10% extra mount speed. That's what I've gone for, but yeah, do what the hell you want here, guys. The main one is just this one for the 35%, and that's not a slottable anyway. Okay, so the blue tree, I want you to follow exactly what I do here, guys. Now, even though we're running crit parts, we're not going into crit damage here, because it was between this slot here for crit damage and crit healing and just 10% extra healing, and I honestly felt, because crit surge is single target, rally is single target, and vigor is single target, I was getting such a big buff from putting this slottable in. And yes, I miss out on the 10% extra critical damage, but we're doing enough damage as is. I really don't feel like we need this. Like, honestly, I really don't feel like we need this. Obviously, I want the 10% extra critical damage, but for VX, the healing was just so much nicer and made me feel a lot more comfortable. So that's what I ended up going with. If you feel like the healing's too much and you could do it out, obviously you can switch between the two. They're both great options for this build. Okay. And then we're using Duelist Rebuff. I think this is a must on every single build this patch, guys, because stuff like Incap, Onslaught, Crystal Frags, Spectral Bow, this reduces all that damage taken. Surprise Attack just reduces all that high damage by 10%, which is really nice considering how hard people hit in this patch. And then in here we've got crit resistance, so 660 crit resistance. I've done out these two as well for the damage reduction. I really recommend getting these two Apollyon and Element to defend it on this build. I felt like the damage reduction was a must for this build. On my DK I upped my healing and had these at 2%, but for this build I wanted these maxed. So that's just a little note. And then over here we got increased damage done by single target attacks. So that's how increasing our damage done with our Dizzy Swing, our Crystal Weapon, our Executes, and our Rendering Slashes. It doesn't affect Dawnbreaker, but Dawnbreaker does enough damage as is, so this is just covering a lot of bases, which is really nice. And then you want to be putting your CP also into the penetration. Skipping over here, so we don't have CP, just put 20 points in here. Try max out this one for the weapon damage. We don't really care about the max magic. We're getting 1% into both, and like just one little bit into these both. And then I'm just slowly upgrading my critical chance. We're in crit pots, and you don't get much crit from this anyway, so I'm just slowly doing this up, and then full into max stamina. Okay. Now for this one, I've chosen to go with max health, armor, and recoveries. Lost the word there. God, I'm so tired. I really need to get some Weetabix. I just saw the servers were up, and I was just like, okay, I'm gonna go record this video in case the servers go back down or something happens. So yeah. Yeah, really should have gone in at breakfast first. Jesus Christ. But yeah, the recoveries is so nice. The armor really nice, and the max health just really nice. And then we chose Juggernaut, so every time we break free, it reduces that damage taken by 10%. It's just so strong. I just feel like these four are like a must-have on a lot of builds. Then if we start from here, I put 4 points into the movement speed. The movement speed by 8% is really nice. This is kind of like a flex. You can put this at just 20, so you could just put 10 points into this if you wanted to. Then I upped this all the way, because when we don't block much, but when we do block, that 6% block mitigation is so nice. Then into sprint, reduces the cost of sprint. You can do this as you see fit, that's just gameplay. Into max health, max that out. Reduces the element, like the duration of elemental status effects. I put mine up to 15%. I would say at least minimum 10%. I really do like the skill. I'm trying to get this one up, so this is a nice skill to have if you want it. Yeah, but yeah, at least 10% I think for this one. It's really nice to have. Then roll dodge, I put this all the way up. Break free all the way up. But yeah, play around these as you see fit. The main ones were just the slottables that I went over. Okay, now I'll go over the additional skill points I didn't go over. So obviously I had full points into all my passives here. Full passives into two-hand. I did try out sword and board. Full passives into dual wield. Full passives, medium armor, just go over the medium armor passives. So those are the benefits that we're getting. Obviously you guys should probably know this. We're getting reduced cost of sprint, sneak, roll dodge, AoEs. I don't actually have a major evasion because we're running 6 pieces of medium armor, which gives us 12% damage reduction from area effects. I could have stacked this with shuffle or something, but in all honesty, I really didn't feel like I needed it. Every time I get stuck in an AoE or something, I just press ball of lightning and reset myself. That's just kind of how that goes. This is kind of my slot for that. But if you want to chuck a lewd, you can go with sword and board and replace rendering slashes. I just didn't like limiting myself to just uppercut. Yeah, I didn't like that. I really liked having rendering slashes. That's just personal preference. And then one piece heavy, so obviously we did out all the passives here. The negative effects for heavy is just a bit of movement speed and roll dodge. And then the benefits are just negligible because it's only a one piece. We did it so that we could get the undaunted passives, so just that extra 2% for extra health, stamina and magic. That's kind of why we did the one piece. And for the reinforced chest piece, just to buff up the resistances. But I wouldn't recommend going 2-piece heavy. If anything, if you're going to go 2-piece heavy, you might as well go 3-piece heavy, 4-piece medium. I wouldn't really do 2-5. I'd go either 4-3 or 6-1. That's kind of how I'm looking this patch on STAM SORC. Okay. And then obviously we got continuous attack, combat frenzy. Every time we kill a player, we get 20 ultimate. Every time we're near a keep, we increase our healing down by 20%. You reduce the cost, reduce the time it takes to resurrect players. I mean, that's just courtesy for PvP. So people put this in for you, put that in for them. Seriously, 2 skill points, don't be cheap. I'm a Nord. You don't have to be a Nord. We've got enough resistances as it is. I was a Nord in the last patch, so I didn't want to change it this patch. Nord did get a nerf. They nerfed the resistances down from I think 3.6k or 4.2k to 2.6k. But we get max stamina and we get max health, a bit of frost resistance, and then some ultimate. I mean, you could replace this for an orc, so you get your health, stamina, and then weapon damage, or a dark elf, or something else, and reduce your resistances. That's cool too. But obviously, I was just a Nord last patch, so this can be flexed about. And I like how my character looks, and I really didn't want to look like an orc. I'd have to cover the face up, not gonna lie. Then alchemy, just so our results last 30% longer, so those crit pots are up for 100% of the time. I don't have my provisioning points in here. I remembered that just a minute ago. I do need them in there for the extra duration before the time takeaway off, so put that in there for the extra 20 minutes. Pair that with your CP, that's an extra 50 minutes of food timer, which is really nice. But yeah, I think that basically covers all bases, guys. Just double check. Just thinking, is there anything else? No, there isn't. Obviously guys, if I missed anything, please let me know in the comment section down below, or if you have any questions about how this build works, how to play it better. But I have got videos showing off this build anyway, and I'll just go over the rotation again. So uppercut, light attack into crystal weapon, medium weave into twin slashes. I'll do this again. Say if someone roll dodges here, instead of doing a medium weave twin slashes, you hold it and do a heavy attack, so when they come out of roll dodge, you can try to stun them. But in all honesty, guys, yeah, that's it for the build. I hope you did enjoy. If you did enjoy this video, then please be sure to smash that like button, drop a comment because you know I love to hear from you guys, and subscribe if you haven't already to update all my latest content and to become part of the Apple Army. And then if you want to go and take it a step further, guys, you can come and join the Discord to get to know me better. And the link for the Discord will be down in the description down below. Right for you guys. Peace out, and I love you all. Bye bye.